Salute Discipuli. The topic of this video is verb dictionary entries. And just like with nouns, this has all the information you need in order to use this word and form it fully in all tenses. So when you look up words in the dictionary, this is what you're going to see for verbs. Copy down what's up here. Pause the video if you need to. But what you really need to know is that each one of these has a name that we're going to refer to. This is called the first principal part. This is the second principal part, the third principal part, and the fourth principal part. And you can see this is in parentheses right here because we're not going to use it that much in class. But I do want you to just know that it exists in case you ever need it. Okay, I also have the forms here so that you can see the different, what they're called. The only one I really want you to make sure you know, though, is that this is called the present active infinitive. Go ahead and put a star by that in your notes. We're going to call agitare the second principal part, or we're going to call it the infinitive. Okay, so this is what when we look up this, when we look up the word, again, this is what we're going to see. Let's talk about how we use it. First, we can tell conjugations, find stems. We can find the present stem, or we can find the perfect stem. With the perfect stem, we're not going to use right away, but in a few weeks, we're going to be using it all the time. Remember, conjugations are just groups of verbs that change in the same way. Just like nouns have declensions, verbs have conjugations. So in order to find the conjugations, we're going to look at the second principal part, which I also said is the infinitive. This is always going to end in RE every time. And we're going to look at the letter right before the RE to tell us the conjugation. If we have an ARE, its first conjugation. If there's an E with a mark over it, either a little hat or a long, like a line above it, it's second conjugation. But if the E doesn't have any mark over it, then it's third. So I have down here some verbs we're going to work with and your notes, which I've also highlighted some of this stuff. And I want you to think, what is the conjugation of dico, dicere, dixi? And so I need to look, it says I'm going to look at the second principal part. So I'm going to look at dico, dicere right here. And then I can see that it's got an ERE, and that ERE is third conjugation. So dico, dicere is third conjugation. Okay? And then look at habeo, habere, habui. We're looking at this one. I see that that one has a long ERE, and so it's second conjugation. Okay, we can also find this present stem. So for first and second conjugation, we're going to drop the RE off the second principal part or the infinitive. For third conjugation, you drop the O off the first principal part. Okay, so I've got a slightly different list of words here, but we're going to use them to find stems. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to find our present stem. Okay, let's look at fingero, fingere, fixi. If I look here, I can see that this is a third conjugation word. I see it because it has a ERE, okay? So for third conjugation, what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop the O off the first principal part, and so my stem is just fig. Okay, for this habeo, habere, habui, that one's second conjugation. See, it's got an ERE in the infinitive. So I'm going to drop off that RE. Oops, and what I'm left with is just habe. Habito, habitare is in the first conjugation because it's got an ARE. So I'm going to drop off the RE and I'm going to get habita. Okay, how about recumbo, recumbere? It's got an ERE in the second principal part. So I need to drop the O off the first principal part and I get recum. And finally, for the perfect stem, we drop the I off that third principal part. That's true for every conjugation ever and pretty much every verb ever. So watch. 1, 2, 3. Fix. 1, 2, 3. It's just habu. 1, 2, 3 is just habitab. 1, 2, 3, it's just intrav. Every single one in almost every word in Latin, you just drop that I off and you got the perfect stem. Okay, on to the back. Okay, just FYI, conj means conjugation. So as you can see, this first word is actually the word we have on the front of our page. So I can look and I know that the conjugation, because it ends with an A-R-E, I'm going to look at the second principal part, and the second principal part is A-R-E, so it is a first conjugation word. Okay, then I'm going to find the present stem. In order to find that, I look at the second principal part because it's a first conjugation word. I'm going to drop the RE off the infinitive. So I look at the second principal part and it's agta. And then the perfect stem, drop the I, it's agitav. Good. Okay, actually now I want you to write one of these in. Go ahead and do this with me. It's timeo, timere, and again, that E doesn't really sound like that, timui, and it means to terrify or frighten. Okay, I want you to tell me the conjugation. I look, and I can tell it's second conjugation because I have a long E-R-E, long E-R-E. It's got that big little hat over it or the long mark. Now, so that means I'm going to drop the RE off the infinitive, and the stem is then time. And then for the perfect stem, you just drop the I, and you get timu. Okay. Go ahead, pause the video, and try all of these right now. All right, come back and check your work. So, this one is third conjugation. I looked at that second principal part and saw how short ERE. Not a long ERE with a little line over it. It's a short ERE. So then I just dropped that O off the first principal part. I get conspicky, and then dropped the I to get conspect. Okay, looking ahead to the next one, we have it's consumo, consumere, so it's third because it has that short ERE. And then I have consumo here, but I don't want that. I want to cross out that O. And then if I cross out the O, I'm going to get consum. Since it's third, I just dropped the O off the first principal part, and again I got consum, and then I'm going to look at the third principal part to get consumps, because I just dropped that I. Okay, the next one I'm going to look at is dico dicere, third, another ERE, and I dropped the O to get dic, D-I-C, and then dix, D-I-X, I dropped the I off the third principal part to get the perfect stem. Alrighty, and the last one I have here, I want to look at the second principal part. Again, third, ERE, drop the O from the first, got duke, and then I got dukes because I dropped the I off the third principal part, and that's my perfect stem. All right, you're all done. Take the quiz.